On my way back to Ontario from Northfield Park, I've had better weeks. I can tell you that. So obviously we had some bad news leaving Ontario yesterday. Last, I guess, Monday night, I found out that, I think it was Monday night, I found out that 3 Point Blue Chip was injured, has a line in his foot. There was a lot of conversation between myself, Julie and Andy Miller, Tom Grossman, and various surgeons yesterday. I think we all had to have a good discussion about what the future holds for 3 Point Blue Chip. Now, I don't think the injury he has would be anywhere remotely considered career-ending. Not at all. In a normal time frame before the advances of technology, it would definitely be a year-ending injury, which when I heard, I just assumed it was. Remember, No Free Lunch had cracked his coffin bone last year and immediately was done for the year. I think it was almost 10 months to get him back. So when I heard line in the foot, it was crushing. It was crushing to hear. It was almost like I could see the words enter my ears. It was tough to take, but I spoke at length with Julie Miller, who had told me about her, the surgeon in New Jersey wanting to put a screw in the horse's coffin bone. I'd never heard of that in my life. I didn't know that you could do that. Obviously, you can put a screw in any bone, but I was trying to quantify how you would. I was trying to envision how you would put a screw in a coffin bone, and it took most of the day for me to gather the proper information I needed from a number of surgeons I knew and veterinarians I knew, and it is an amazing thing that they can do to put this to put a screw in a coffin bone. Now, when I heard them say screw in a coffin bone, the first thing I thought of was, are we risking harming the horse to get him back quicker? Because you're putting a screw in, so you get I did this yesterday, you get crack a line. Okay, there's the line. So much like my wrist, I'd use my wrist as an example. If you remember, they had the pins in my wrist because the fracture in my wrist bone actually went into the joint. Now, the doctor said, Anthony, when you get older, your mobility is going to be a little less than the other one. It's going to hurt a little more. You're going to notice it when it rains. Those types of things. He said by putting these pins in, it closes the crack quicker and allows it to heal stronger, which would drastically minimize the arthritis in your wrist. All positive things. And he said the same thing to me that the surgeon said to Julie, who said to me, what I'm saying to you. Obviously, anytime you insert metal into a body, whether it be a screw, a pin, a rod, whatever, there's a risk of infection. When it comes to this particular line, sealing it quickly, obviously, as I just said, allows you to minimize the arthritis. Long term, for this colt who will become a horse, the long-term benefits of having a screw in there far outweigh the concern of infection, and for various reasons. From my standpoint, from talking to vets, talking to surgeons, going through something myself and hearing a doctor talk to me about it, I was floored by as I said, the advance in technology. I didn't know this was possible. It was said to me, I guess I said it the other day, so I'll say it again. I'll double down on the name drop that I used. Lalala Shadow broke his coffin bone last year, and I believe he has a screw in his coffin bone, and there was pictures online the other day. It was funny. It was almost foreshadowing. I watched some pictures, looked at some pictures of him bouncing around. I think there was a video on Facebook of him bouncing around training on the track, and this is the same procedure, same type of thing. So it was a tough day all around, because every time I talk to somebody, you have to relive it and relive it and relive it, and it's hard. My job for you and for all the other horses is to be able to compartmentalize. 3 Point Blue Chip's injury for the night has to be put away. We have work to do. 3 Point Blue Chip's injury for today has to be put away. I have horses to qualify. And it's tough to do, but you have to do it. So I'm going to do that again right now. The horse is injured. We have a clear path to a resolution to that injury. It will be time plus an operation equals a healthy horse. The time frame, I think, will be, the clarity will be brought to that, and it will be much clearer after the surgeon sees the horse, both via x-ray and on the operating table. At that point, I will bring that information to you. So on with the rest of the day. Last night, I was super happy to watch Massive Profit finish second. I knew he was going to get beat. He's not quite as good on the front end. And quite frankly, you can see it in the first turn. Clear to the front favorite, third favorite clears to the front. We're the big favorite. Long shot in the 2-hole. You have to move him, right? He's got to move him. Out he comes, puts him on the front. And I thought he was a winner all the way down the lane until he wasn't. That horse just picked him off the wire. Now, you know, I was happy. I knew there was a chance he could get beat on the front end, but he had to put him back on the front. That's just the way the race had to go. I was very, very happy with the way the horse raced. 57 in the mud's a good mile. You know, as I was talking to a couple of clients last week, we just have to temper our expectations for this colt. If you think that he's just going to get better and better and better and run over everybody in Indiana, I think you're going to be sorely disappointed come summer and midsummer. I think managing colt right, and as I say this, you know, it's been such a crazy 24 hours. I haven't even had a chance to talk to Mr. Leonard yet, Ross Leonard, about Massive Profit. I was happy. I'm sure he was happy. And I think everybody else should be happy. He's a nice colt. You know, when you look at Massive Profit, if you could walk up and look at him on the cross ties on a lead shank in person, you would see that he's a very immature, physically immature colt, which I mean is he's got a lot of body to grow into, and he's only going to get better and better and better. But that's going to take time. And along that timeline, he's going to run into horses that are physically mature, much more mature than him, and we have to recognize that going into the summer. So I think we got a real nice colt on our hands, and if there's any solace, I think he's going to be a tremendous 4-year-old, but I think he's also going to be a very good 3-year-old. It's just going to take time. It was really hard last night to watch Levitor make a break in the first turn. I know that Scotty had said, I haven't talked to Scotty either today. I'll call him after this video. Corey said that Scott said it's my fault. I was trying to back him into a hole going into the turn. I should have let him trot into the turn and then drop him in the hole. That's how I saw it also. Now it's a lie to me, it's a lie to you. That is what Corey told me, and I had called Corey because I called him just moments ago. Again, dropped the ball. I should have called him this morning. Not that I'm not worried about it. I called him and asked him if he had Coggins for the horse. I was going to maybe ship him back to Ontario or Northfield. I didn't know yet, but I had to make sure there was Coggins so that we could draw health papers. Corey said, Anthony, I'm really sorry. I was going to call you this morning. I put the horse in the numbers to 7,500 for Wednesday. I said, okay, no problem, whatever. Let me know if he gets in. If he doesn't, we'll ship him. If he does, then that's fine too. He said, okay, no problem. Now, the reason I wanted to talk to Corey this afternoon was obviously I had told you that is where Bomb Hugger is going to be going. We'll talk about her qualifier in just a minute. So, Massive Profit, good. Levitor made a break, but not the same Levitor that was down there the first series leg. He looked great in the first series leg. It just wasn't good enough. You know, that's my fault. That's what I would call. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell who's in the series or who's going to go in the series. But I can tell you the horses in that series are better horses than Levitor. We bought Levitor at an extremely affordable price on Gate, and really, as his manager, I should have known better. I asked him to punch way, way above his weight class, and as such, like many boxers that do this, he get knocked out. So he's tough. He'll bounce back. We'll put him in next week, but the numbers of 7,500 I'm sure will be suitable. Quite a bit easier than the 50 claimer or the numbers the 6 series. What we do with him after that will be up to us. I know that I talked to Mark Beckwith last week. Now, his son got hurt in an injury, in an accident, Brett Beckwith. So Mark has a lot on his plate right now also. But Plain Ridge was on his, he wanted a horse for Plain Ridge, which Plain Ridge is going to go for big money. The Opens go for 30 grand. The backup class below that, where it would be an optional 30, 40 claim or something like that, goes for $17,000 or $18,000. A good spot for a horse like Levitor to be. I just don't know if now's the time to do that. It may or may not be. But all of this is moot. It doesn't matter because he's entered for Yonkers for Wednesday. We'll see if he gets in, and then I'll make a decision of where he's going and when he's leaving. So I woke up this morning, obviously still a little deflated from the day before. I got to the track. I wanted to train Slim Jimmy. I wanted to train Sweet on Pete. Those horses are racing next week. Again, I pivoted. That's how fluid my schedule is. I went from absolutely, I can't go to Miami Valley next Monday and Wednesday, to I'm going to go to Miami Valley next Monday and Wednesday. Sweet on Pete trained fantastic. Now she's in Monday, so I didn't want to train her hard. 2.7 last half in a minute. She was very, very, very strong. Now it's a good 6 days for Jimmy. I trained him in 59 last half, 58. He was very, very strong also. Everything was going according to plan. We went out and trained 1-2 Skip a Few and Del Cash together, or Del Breeze together. No, it was Del Cash. Skippy was a little short again. She doesn't feel like she's got any pop to her right now. Is it the hobbles? Is she stretched out a little bit? I don't know, but she's not ready to go. That's the reality of the situation. She's not ready to go. So, as I said to Jason, there's no timeline. I would like to have it ready May 1st for her Buckeye, but there is no timeline. Her timeline is hers. When she tells us she's ready to go, that's when we'll go. So that's where we're at with 1-2 Skip a Few. Sound, trotting great. I just need to see a lot more of it. That's not like her. So I don't, maybe it is the hobbles, I don't know. Del Cash, on the other hand, we went a mile in 2.3, but it was really windy and kind of miserable and cold this morning. Now, towards the end of the day for Bomb Huggers qualifier, it was warm. The wind was still very, very strong, but warmer, had warmed up a good 8-10 degrees from even the start of the qualifiers. So all these horses were going before the qualifiers, 10 o'clock-ish. So very happy with 1-2. I was happy with 1-2 Skip a Few, but disappointed that she didn't have more in the tank. So we'll work on that. That's just sheer work. The talent's always going to be there. Del Cash was good also. Del Breeze trained with Gemstone Ruby Rose. Gemstone Ruby Rose rolled off in the first turn. I pulled her hobbles up after her break in the mile, and she was much, much better. Last half in a minute, 2.4. She was strong. Very, very strong. So I was really, really happy with her. And Del Breeze was okay also. Those two Del horses are ready to qualify. Now I warmed up Of Tom. She's struggling a bit. Both her and Skippy, man, for horses like Purple Aura, Jason said is trained back great. Had that little hiccup where she tied up, but she's good now, just 2 weeks behind where Pete and Jimmy are. Pete and Jimmy are dialed in, very strong. Of Tom was kind of weak today. I had to watch her in the turns. I just kind of babied her around. But to be quite frank, the Of Tom of July of last year in her 2-year-old year would crush the 3-year-old version right now. And I don't know whether she's going through a little funk or what is going on with her and Skippy. They trained back. Sure, we deviated 1-2 Skip a Few's training sessions and opted to gallop, but Of Tom trained down, the same as everybody else. So a little disappointed in those two fillies, but there's still lots of racing and lots of year left, and I'm sure they'll come back to life. Now, it wasn't like Of Tom was gross. 2-2 last half in a minute, last quarter in 33. On that track, on that windy day, not a bad mile. Not a bad mile, but I did expect more. And then, obviously, moments in time make you happy and obviously can make you sad. And Bomb Hugger was incredible. I went out on the track thinking, I don't know what to think. It depends what they do. I'm going to race her from well off the pace. If we go in 2-1, we go in 2-1. If we don't, we don't. Now I'm going to let her tell me what she wants to do. Vernon Beachy was gone on the front end with something, a runaway in the front. Horse in front of me was all done. Keith Cash just turned around. He virtually saying, hey, go around. Come on, around. And I moved her to the outside, and she snapped 2 gears, just like that. I was just going to go around Keith Cash, to she grabbed a hold of the bit and took off, and I immediately went down to the rail and then went back around the guy in the 2-hole. Now she sees the horse way up ahead of her, and she gets small blood in the water. She's a pit bull. and she just come charging in. I was slowing her down on the last turn. I was just going to ride up onto Vernon's back, but he's done now. She almost made a break getting out around him, and then she takes off again, clears to the front, and I just wrap her up going under the wire. 57-1 last quarter, 29-1, and she was powerful. Very, very good. I'll tell you one thing. We all have our boiling points, right? Yesterday was a very hard day for me, for all my partners, for everybody at the stable. It was tough. It was a tough day. And I really was very happy that Baumhugger qualified the way she did. Now, that elation of that qualifier was short-lived, because now you have to come back down to reality and deal with all the situations you're dealing with. But I can tell you, for the people that own Baumhugger, very, very, very strong today. I don't want to race her. I could race her off that line, but I don't really want to. I want to come back with another qualifier. We're going to stick to the script with this filly. 2 qualifiers, possibly a prep race in Yonkers if there's one there for her. A prep race of some sort. And then down to Freehold for the Lady Suffolk on the 7th. And the first start is in Yonkers, so I suppose Corey Stratton will keep that filly through the 17th also. We will take her back. I think at that point, Jared Bothwell will be set up at Tioga Raceway, Tioga Downs, and she will move into her somewhat home at Tioga. So that is the plan for Baumhugger. Man, she certainly helped clear the fog, so to speak. Yes, what happened with 3 Point Blue Chip is crushing. It's not going to go away anytime soon. But understanding that we have more very, very good horses also helps a lot. Helps clear the fog and lets you pay attention to the path you're on. And Baumhugger certainly helped me along a lot today. Let me look ahead to tonight. Obviously, Matt's MVP. I'll be completely honest with everybody. Matt's MVP is still struggling with some pain in that check ligament. There's not much we can do about it at this point. When you warm him up, we warmed him up the other day. Won a mile 58 in the pouring rain at Mohawk, and he was very good. He still is very stiff when you go out, and we've looked and looked and looked and looked and looked, and both Dr. Latessa and Dr. McKee, both sides of the border, came up with the same conclusions. That check ligament is a flashpoint right now. The problem with check ligaments is when you get them heated up and get them moving, you're fine. Until then, it's a little stiff, right? So I don't know what's going to take place tonight. If he's bad, I can't race him, and if I can't race him, we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do with this colt, what our options truly are, because the horse that qualified our school the other day was fantastic, but in the morning workouts he is still a little bit sore on that check ligament. So we know where it is, we know what the culprit is. Treating it is not that easy. We went through this, remember, with My Jazz last year. Totally different situation, but that pain that you have to work around is real, and it's a real problem. And the last thing you want to do is put the horse through a tough situation. But at the same time, if time really isn't going to help that much, I shouldn't say that. It may help quite a bit. Every time we go to the vet, we're thinking, okay, now we got him in a good frame of mind. We got him in the right moment, so to speak. He'll be fine. And then I go to go with him, and you do see him a little laboring, a little on the right line. Then you get a quarter of a mile into him, and he's much better, and away you go. So I don't know. Will he go tonight? Will he not go tonight? I don't know. I can tell you this much. If he goes tonight, I suspect he'll race very, very well. He was so good the other day schooling at Mohawk. I was very, very, very pleased with him. If he doesn't go tonight, then we're going to have to stop and say, okay, what are our options right now for this pesky little check ligament? What are our options moving forward? What are our options for today, tomorrow, and the next day? So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it tonight. But for now, Matt's MVP, I'm really, really looking forward to racing him tonight. Unbeatable Kemp is in tonight, hopefully hoping for a big mile from him also. James was pretty mad at himself last week with the way he drove the horse. I didn't think he drove the horse bad. I just think maybe he outsmarted himself. But John Beeble-Kemp will bounce back. Of that, I'm certain. World for Two. I'm driving World for Two. I don't know why I'm driving World for Two. Mary or James probably should have driven World for Two. I'm just going to race him easy tonight. He's got the outside. I'd like to see a strong mile and 55 from him. That would be nice to see. And then a horse that I can't wait to see tonight. Of everything that's gone on positively in the last few days, watching Blue Bayou Dio race tonight, maybe the pinnacle. Very, very similar to Baumugger. Very, very similar fillies. I can't wait to see her race tonight. I know she got a little bit of a rash on her, which may take away a little bit. But she was so strong qualifying schooling. I can't wait to see her race tonight. So, a week of difficulties for the stable, for sure, no doubt about it. We lost our starter, right? We lost our horse, the horse that won, helped put us on the map last year, and by all accounts was the horse that was hopefully going to put us on the map and keep us on the map this year. But this game is a merciless game, and you can't dwell. You really have to push forward. We have a big stable of horses. We have a lot of moving parts in this stable, and 3 Point Blue Chip will heal. He will come back, and until then, we're going to lean on the rest of our starters to lift us up. So that's where we're at right now. I know it's been a tough 2 days for a lot of people. It certainly has been for me. But you know what? The sun's out. We're racing tonight. Tomorrow's a new day. We'll talk to everybody very, very soon. I hope you're having a great day.